Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today, we're making a coffee cake. Perfect alongside your morning coffee, this dish is an amazing, tasty option for breakfast. So, let's get started.
Alright, so for the ingredients, we're going to start off with the cinnamon filling. And we're going to need 3/4 cup of light brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and for the streusel, we're going to need 2/3 cup of light brown sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. And for the cake itself, we're going to need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 cup of unsalted butter, 1 cup of granulated white sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, 3 large eggs, and finally 1 cup of sour cream. Alright, so to get things started, we're going to create our cinnamon filling first. And all you need to do is use a small bowl and whisk together your brown sugar, the flour, as well as the cinnamon until it's all well combined, and then just set it aside for now. Now on to making the streusel topping. In a medium-sized bowl, you want to add in your brown sugar, the salt, the cinnamon, and the flour, and whisk those all together until they're well combined. And I just want to take this time now to ask you to smash that like button for me. It'll really help the channel out and help the video reach more people. Next, you want to add in your diced butter. And I like using cold butter right out of the fridge so it's easier to cut, but you can use room temperature butter as well. But basically what you want to do is create 1/2 inch thick slices of your butter and then cut those slices into small bite-sized pieces, adding them to your mixture. And while you're dicing the butter, do your best to not touch them as much, as you don't want them to melt and ruin the final texture of your streusel. Now, once all your butter has been added to the mixture, using either clean hands or powder-free nitrile gloves, you want to press and crumble the butter into the dry mixture. Once you have a crumbly mixture, you can set the bowl aside. And if you want to have larger crumbs form, try pressing a large handful together and then breaking it apart into smaller pieces. But basically what you're looking for is a consistency like you see in the video here. The butter is not going to absorb all the dry ingredients, and this is what we want. Now moving on to making the cake itself, you want to sift together your flour, the cornstarch, the salt, as well as the baking powder into a large bowl. And once all these ingredients have been sifted together, you want to sift them once more and then set the bowl aside. Now separately, using a stand mixer, you want to beat the butter and the granulated white sugar together using a paddle attachment or using an electric hand mixer. And I like to gradually add in the sugar to the butter. It helps to make the butter light and fluffy. So once it reaches that state, you want to use a rubber spatula and scrape down the sides and the bottom of the bowl just to make sure that all the butter and sugar have been incorporated with one another. And it's at this point where we can add in our brown sugar and mix this on high until it's well combined. Once again, you want to scrape down the sides of the bowl of the stand mixer, as stand mixers can be kind of finicky and not incorporating all the ingredients, especially on the edge. So you want to make sure you double check on that. But once that's been mixed, you can now add in your vanilla extract. And then one at a time, you want to add in your eggs to this mixture, not adding the next egg until the previous one has been fully incorporated. And you can mix this stage at low speed. And I think you're used to it at this point, but once again, you want to scrape down the sides of the bowl before adding in your sour cream. And I like to add that a little bit at a time just to make sure that it all gets well incorporated into your final batter. So now that your wet batter is formed, you want to add in your dry mixture into the wet batter and mix it until it's just combined, using your rubber spatula to scrape down the bowl and mix in any missed parts. It's at this point where you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius. And you want to line a 9 by 9 inch baking pan with parchment paper, allowing the excess of the paper to hang over the sides of the pan, allowing an easy lift from the baking pan once the coffee cake is finished. Now you want to pour in half of your batter into the baking pan and use a rubber spatula to smooth it out, making sure that it fills the entire cooking surface of the pan. Now you want to take the cinnamon filling you made in the beginning of this video and sprinkle it on top of this layer, doing this as evenly as possible. Next, you want to take the remaining batter that you have and place it on top of the cinnamon filling and then spreading it out, moving from the center to the edges. Finally, you want to spoon on your streusel, making sure that it covers the entire surface of the batter. And then you just want to pop this in the oven and bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius for 50 to 55 minutes, or until a toothpick can be inserted in the center of the cake and it comes out clean. Once it's done cooking, you want to allow the cake to cool in the pan for 20 minutes prior to serving. Once those 20 minutes are up, you can lift the cake out of the pan using the parchment paper edges, and I like to cut it into 12 large slices of coffee cake. And now you're ready to serve it and enjoy. And just like that, you've made coffee cake right at home. A truly amazing breakfast option. This pairs very well with a fresh brew of coffee or my homemade hot chocolate recipe that I posted the recipe for on YouTube as well. But both layers of the cake are really light and airy, while the inner cinnamon filling adds that great burst of flavor, and the streusel on top really adds that texture that you're looking for in your traditional coffee cake. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 2, Elevating Your Inner Chef, and that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in the description box. And feel free to click the pop-up on the screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button for me. It really helps the channel reach more people. And if you want to see more recipes like this one, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified when my next video drops. And feel free to share this recipe as well. Tell a family member, tell a friend, even tell your worst enemy. It'll really help me out if you let other people know about the Chef Vic Cuisine channel. And stay tuned for next week, where I try to make one of my favorite go-to healthy meals, a steak salad. Probably one of my favorite salad recipes I've got. Well, I can't thank you all enough for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to watch more recipes on my page now, and I'll see you next week on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.